What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this one, we have weapons of a Dutch G-Wagen gun truck anti-tank squad. A Dutch G-Wagen gun. I gotta see this. Before we dive in, if you guys happen to enjoy, please don't forget to subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. Also, if you like support the channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit the join button to receive your exclusive benefits. Let's get right to it.
The Dutch army has these pretty slick gun truck platoons with Mercedes-Benz G-Wagons whipping around the battlefield with 50 cals and ATGMs, and their Ranger battalion is replacing it with what looks like the love child of a G-Wagon and a Foxhound. The Mercedes-Benz G280 CDI is the legacy platform, introduced to replace the G290 GD in this role. It's powered by a Mercedes-Benz OM642 turbocharged diesel V6. Its 185 horsepower whips around the 5-ton combat-loaded chassis up to 70 kilometers or 43 miles per hour off-road and 160 kilometers or 99 miles per hour on-road when unlimited, 120 and 75 when limited. It has space for 5, although they typically roll with a 4-man crew. In the gun truck roll, they typically mount a Mag 58 medium machine gun for use by the co-driver and an M2 Browning caliber 50 heavy machine gun on a ring mount. In 2022, though, the Dutch government ordered 41 Defenture Vectors to fill an urgent requirement in the 11th Air Mobile Brigade. These are used by the 12th Ranger Battalion, the Special Operations Force Support Battalion, to achieve commonality with the Commando Corps who are already using the Vector. It's designed to be internally loaded into a CH-47 Chinook cargo helicopter, so it looks slightly narrow for his size. Its armament is the same as the old G-Wagen, although the 11th Air Mobile Brigade also employs the Heckler & Koch GMG 40mm automatic grenade launcher. These are not used by the 13th Light Brigade with Boxers to my knowledge. Other air mobile units, though, will have their G2A.
These cars, vehicles. These vehicles are absolutely kitted out like my days, bro. Like the guns that are mounted on these bad boys are absolutely insane.
Replaced by the Rheinmetall Caracal based on the G-Class 464 platform. In Boxer units, the last rumor I heard is that they'll be replaced by the new 30mm gunned Boxer, perhaps replicating the anti-tank platoons that Germany plans to introduce to its Boxer battalion heavy companies, although I don't know if that's confirmed. Now that you know what the vehicles are, the specific units I'm talking about today are the patrol platoon of the 11th Air Mobile Brigade and the heavy weapons platoon of the 13th Light Brigade. The platoon structures themselves are basically identical, 8 vehicles, 4 personnel per vehicle, but how they slot in is different and Air Mobile is a little more high speed. The 11th Air Mobile Brigade's primary maneuver elements are the 11th and 13th Air Assault Infantry Battalions and the 12th Ranger Battalion. Each Dutch Air Assault Battalion consists of a battalion staff, 3 infantry companies lettered Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie, and a patrol company. This patrol company has a company staff, 1 or 2 patrol platoons, the 12th Ranger Battalion only has 1, and scout platoon. In the 13th Light Brigade, meanwhile, the primary maneuver elements are the 17th and 42nd Armored Infantry Battalions mounted primarily on the Boxer APC and Bushmaster Protected Mobility Vehicle, although there are plans to add a CV-90 battalion to the brigade as well. Each of these motorized armored infantry battalions consists of a battalion staff, 3 armored infantry companies, and a maneuver and support company as Delta. When task organized for deployment, the infantry companies are called teams. The heavy weapons platoons are organic to the infantry companies themselves. Each Boxer company consists of a company staff, including a Boxer for the commander, Bushmaster for the deputy commander, Fennec for the fire support team, Iveco Manticore for the sergeant major, and logistics trucks. 2 infantry platoons with 4 Boxers each, see my video on them to get a detailed breakdown, the heavy weapons platoon, sniper group, and 81mm mortar group, which was moved here from Delta Company last year. Because of the different placement in the hierarchy, the patrol and heavy weapons platoons have slightly different roles. Both are very mobile, lightly or unprotected, and have significant dismounted anti-tank capabilities and heavy machine guns, so they're capable.
You don't want to run into this kind of smoke. I'm telling you that right now. This is the kind of smoke that you stay away from. Yeah, they handling these guns that are mounted on the cars. These jokers, some of these jokers is big enough to where they carry it like that. Oh, gee, that would blow me away.
Of engaging enemy armor and suppressing infantry. But heavy weapons actually makes up a significant portion of the Boxer Company's combat power, as they only have 2 infantry platoons. So a lot of their utility comes from direct fire support of infantry, forming a mobile quick reaction force, and plugging gaps where needed. As they're the company's operators of Spike ATGMs, supplementing the battalion level teams on Fenix, they're also the most capable anti-tank organic to the company. Now, they aren't the most survivable units out there. In force-on-force exercises against mechanized battalions, I've heard they take heavy casualties, but they do take a lot of the enemy with them and can economize force for the commander, using fewer resources to do the job of a larger unit. The patrol platoon, on the other hand, fill a more specialized reconnaissance and security role for their battalions. As the bulk of the Air Mobile Delta Company's combat power, they're really the security piece of R&S, operating forward of the infantry companies just behind the Brigade Reconnaissance Squadron. The enemy gets attrited, the battalion commander gets information, and the battalion is protected. My 12 Delta guy tells me he's never personally been employed dispersed amongst the infantry companies to provide fire support, although use could probably vary by unit and the situation. Now, let's get into the equipment and structure of these platoons. But first, the featured Patreon and member task force in this video is the 13th Air Mobile Brigade. They will tab check you at the door, just don't ask them about the state of their spines. But anyway, as I mentioned before, both heavy weapons and patrol platoons consist of 8 vehicles with 4 crew per vehicle. They're split into 4 groups. Nowadays, these are Romeo and Echo Group, Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. Romeo and Echo being the Dutch call signs for platoon commanders and deputies respectively. In the past, a Romeo, Echo, Alpha, and Bravo setup has also been used. The platoon commander is generally a first lieutenant. This kind of platoon seems to be a second command sort of thing, usually precluding second lieutenants, although it can happen rarely. Deputy platoon commanders are usually sergeants first class. The other squads are commanded by a sergeant, sometimes a sergeant first class depending on how long they've been in the role. In their second vehicle,
as a platoon commander, he controls like every one of these vehicles and groups. Like he's, I guess, in the hierarchy, he would be at the top when it comes to everybody involved here. And then next would be lieutenant, then platoon deputies, then group commanders.
sits the deputy group commander, ranking either corporal with OLK leadership training or corporal first class. Each vehicle has their commander and co-driver, driver, gunner, and a light machine gunner. Major crew-served weapons include the co-driver's Mag-58, gunner's M2 Browning, Spike ATGM, typically the MR variant and probably the LR in the future, and 1 optional 60mm mortar per platoon that can be carried with whoever is qualified to use it. Also, Wall Doctrine calls for 1 spike clue per vehicle, 2 per group. I'm told that it's often only 1 spike per group due to availability issues and a shortage of qualified shooters. Each vehicle also carries 1 clue for the Panzerfaust III anti-tank weapon, doctrinally with 2 to 3 rounds if the vehicles have the spike missile racks. A Panzerfaust can be mounted above 2 spike rounds.
That Joker is a freaking monster. My days, that is a... Yeah, you can hit with that. You going to your next life. You're going to meet the maker. You get hit with that.
It's often just a single round on the hood or bonnet. I'm told the racks are DIY non-standard solutions. As well, the 4th man uses a Mini-Me LMG for dismounted security, movement, counter-ambush, and as a backup for when the other guns go down, although he generally uses a personal C8 carbine when mounted. There's also an AG-36 underbarrel grenade launcher, usually used by the gunner, although in the 12th Ranger Battalion this is optional. Otherwise, everyone gets a C8 carbine and Glock 17 pistol as personal weapons. This is the case in both air assault and boxer units and isn't particularly special to these sorts of platoons. Everyone in regular infantry platoons are also authorized Glock 17s, although they usually get the full-length C7. Thanks to my patrons and channel members who allow me to make these videos.
That was a dope freaking video to kind of get to learn more about some of these vehicles that they use in the Dutch military and how the squads are formed. How the squads are formed of all of these different guys. But that's all we have for this video. Y'all talk me in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. Check out the next one.